Hello, wishing you all a very wonderful, happy, prosperous new year 2021. Hope this year is unlike 2020 and prayers that you clear the exam what is there in this year for you. The start of the year, the first 2 weeks of the year has been good for India in many aspects. As per let it be COVID vaccine, let it be the DRDO, let it be the armed forces, let it be there is some kind of a recognition of India onto the larger geopolitical system of the world. So let's just jump in into the updates. India and Pakistan have exchanged the list of their nuclear installation. This is an annual affair which keeps happening, and wherein the nuclear sites list are exchanged, and it prohibits each other from attacking their atomic facility in view of the population and in view of the geographical location and etc. This treaty was actually signed in December on 31st December 1988, but it came into effect on 1st January 1992, and ever since it has been done annually. The Taiwanese President Tsai has said that it is ready to hold talks with China. China had cut off the formal talk mechanism with Taiwan in 2016 ever since she won the elections, and we all understand that there are tensions going on between Taiwan and China, and with the intervention of US and we supporting Taiwan and Taiwan asking for its autonomy. It is there, but this is a step. Let's see where it goes, but one should be aware as to what is happening in this region. France has openly welcomed India into the UNSC as a non-permanent member for the second time, and France has also said that now it's time that India has to be made a permanent member in the United Nations Security Council. And we do agree there can be a question on the United Nations Security Council. I had also brought out this in the last video, that please be aware as to what is the organization of the UNSC, who all forms the part of it, what are the countries, and what type of members are there, what are their powers, and why is India still not a part of it, and lastly, is UNSC relevant in today's date with the large number of failures in all over the world. Let it be ISIS, let it be Boko Haram, let it be the Iran Iraq conflict, let it be the Sudanese Somalian conflict, whatever, in even the latest now the Chinese. So just brainstorm on this, please. Very happy to say in the start of the week, Covishield became the first corona vaccine to be approved for emergency use in India, and thereafter Covaxin also became. One is by Serum Institute of India, and the second was Bharat Biotech. One is based in Pune and second in Hyderabad. And finally, both the medicines have been accepted, and as we talk tomorrow, that is on 16th of January, the nationwide the dosage administration to the patients and non-patients will be started, and this is hailed as the world's largest immunization program. And as of now, the institutes are offering this medicine as low as 200 rupees to 290 rupees for Government of India. Otherwise, the retail price for this would be around 1000 rupees. A proud moment for us, because the other countries, the world's other countries like Brazil, Thailand, Japan, and the various other countries of United States are looking for this vaccine, and it has been proven that the Indian vaccine is more efficient than that of the Chinese vaccine, which was into the market and which Brazil had tried, and recently they said that the Chinese vaccine was only about 50% effective. Uh, a provisional condemning of China's aggression along the India's border has now become a law as the US Congress overrode the President Donald Trump's veto on the 740 billion defense policy bill. This Indian American Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy has said that the Congress had made the National Defense Authorization Act into a law. So this resolution is basically calling on China to end all its aggression towards India. A point to just note in context with the Galwan Valley incident happening. Uh, Bill has been introduced by the US Congress to terminate Pakistan as a major non NATO ally. Pakistan has been enjoying the perks of being a non NATO ally from the Bush administration days in 2004, and under this, it was enjoying the benefits like excess US defense supplies, participation in defense and research and development programs, and etc. etc. And now, with the shift in the thought process, the bill is introduced by the Congress in US. Let's see when do we get this news of it being terminated. A point to note, remember this word, Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya. This is basically the time scale of India, like international standard time, we have our own time. PM has inaugurated the National Atomic Time Scale and Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya via video conferencing, and he has dedicated it to the nation. The National Atomic Time Scale generates the IST with an accuracy of 2.8 nanoseconds, and the Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya supports the testing and calibration of the laboratories for quality assurances at par with the international standards. The tricolor will be installed at UN Security Council as India begins its 2 years tenure as a non-permanent member in the first week of January, and the other countries which will join this wagon is Norway, Kenya, Ireland, Mexico. India's 40th scientific expedition to Antarctica left from Goa on January 5th, and this team has a total of 43 members, and it is less than the general conventional strength because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it is supposed to reach the Antarctica by around 23rd and do its research program. It will have 2 helicopters also to its fleet. Kochi Mangalore 450 kilometers distance is now covered by natural gas pipeline. This pipeline is called as this pipeline starts from Kochi in Kerala to Mangaluru in Karnataka, and this is a 450-kilometer pipeline which is extremely useful, I must say, which supplies the uninterrupted PNG and CNG to the districts of Ernakulam, Thrissur, Palakkad, Malappuram, Kozhikode, Kannur, and Mangalore in Karnataka. Now, what does that happen? It gives a boost to the gas-based industry in these 10 districts along the length of the pipeline. So, you can expect more investments coming into this place, and more maybe industries which will generate more income to the local people, and so it will boost the economy and employment opportunities for both the states, and this is in sync with Modi's mantra of providing more energy and less carbon footprint and facilitate easy living for the citizens. And it is totally a 3,000 crore project, and it is about 12 lakh man days were employed during the construction. Saudi Arabia has reopened its airspace and land sea border with Qatar. Qatar was generally put under a blacklist, it was put under a lot of sanctions. Last time in 2017, accusing it of supporting terrorism in many ways, but finally, Qatar is now the embargo on Qatar has been ended, and Saudi has taken this step. And if you see now, connect this dot, Saudi is slowly trying to get in touch with all its Islamic countries to probably show its might or its total presence in the OIC, ever since the Malaysia, Iran, and Pakistan trying to create a new OIC for themselves. So if you see, all the Islamic worlds are now getting bipolar. There are two groups, two factions, and probably I see it probably in that fashion. Vietnam, China, and Indonesia are basically rice eating countries, and they have been producing their own crop. They have excess, they have mainly rice as their crops. But Vietnam, for the first time, is buying Indian rice in decades. There has been times when all these countries were trying to boycott Indian rice on many pretexts. But now, with the pandemic and the huge financial difference, the price differences, even the broken rice from India has been exported to these rice-eating countries. A good thing for India. Or if this is good for farmers, you can put it to the farmers' agitation which is going on and the farm bill going on, with the latest thing coming in that Supreme Court is intervening into this thing, and let's see what happens ahead. Okay, the Gulf states signed solidarity and stability deal to ease the 3 years crisis, and basically with the Qatar, which we just spoken about a minute back, and during an annual Gulf Cooperation Council meet. The Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman said that now it's a time to all the Gulf Arab countries to unite to confront Iran. So he says Saudi, Egypt, Bahrain, and UAE had generally imposed these embargoes on 2017 on Qatar, and now Qatar seems to be breaking away from Iran. Trump has banned 8 Chinese apps, and that basically these apps are including Alipay, WeChat Pay, etc. And taking a note of it, the China says that this is totally uh, unreasonable, and it is suppressing foreign companies. But the stand which was taken by India first, which was mocked by many people, that how can banning apps make any difference to China? You see that that was a good strategic uh, thinking, and it is pinching China now, and with US also towing the same line. So good for us, and bad for China. If you recollect, the WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus, who initially was so gaga on China when the COVID thing happened, he said that China is doing the best and the world is not following, and that is because that is where he came in a lot of flack with around the world, and people started asking his resignation, other thing. That same man now says that he China is he is very disappointed that China is not giving him permissions for the probing team to go, and of WHO to go into China and probe the reasons and the progress made in this field. It should be understood that China is not a friend, or these are all these people are puppets of it. China will not yield to it. Finally, as I am speaking, a team has reached Wuhan, but even before they reached Wuhan, it was said that the inspection team, 2 members have been declared COVID positive at a third country. So I just can't say the way China can influence even before the team reaches Wuhan. Now that it is already there in Wuhan, what comes out of this visit is again a big question mark. So add this dot with your previous COVID 19 update. Now, Sudan has also signed a deal with US to normalize relationship with Israel. Remember the Abraham Pact, which has happened about our 4 updates prior. As per this, many countries are now trying to recognize the sovereignty of Israel, and this is so more so with the Arab countries. And this comes less than a month after Donald Trump removed Sudan from the blacklist of state sponsor of terrorism. So all this things you must see. Trump has been a major force behind the recognition of Israel by the other countries, especially the Islamic countries. uh, Joe Biden and Harris have won in the US presidential election, and this was officially confirmed by the Congress. This is after lots of turmoil going in US. Recently, there has been an attack by the Trump supporters onto the Capitol Hill, and there seems to be a problem in the democracy But well, that is what a democracy should be, wherein there should be protests, there should be repressions, and that is how a democracies thrive on. So there can be a question that if such riots are happening in US, how is it different from India, or how does democracy justify itself? A very proud moment again for India, that a 306 kilometers Rewari Madar section of Western Dedicated Freight Corridor has been inaugurated in this fortnight by PM Modi. And he if you see onto the right side of the screen, you can see this train engine. Immediately after the train engine, the containers which are taken by the ships generally are stacked one on above. So this is basically a double decker container train which has been moved from Rewari to Madar, and it was a long stock haul of 1.5 kilometers container train. It was pulled by two engines, one in front and one in the middle, and this I think is the first in the world to have a freight corridor with double decker capacity. A moment to be proud of. The 2611 attack mastermind Lakhvi, that is Zakir ur Rahman Lakhvi, has been sentenced for 15 years in jail by Pakistan on charges of terror financing. Again, a eyewash. This man is coming in and going out, and now with the FATF sword on Pakistan's neck hanging, where the final result of the FATF has supposed to come, wherein they can be either blacklisted or they can continue to be in the grey list. This actions are probably, I personally feel that it is an eyewash, but a point to be noted. Bangladesh has sought for an official apology from Pakistan over the 1971 liberation war, and it was conveyed to Pakistan to apologize. Now, Pakistan, I really don't know, shameless country, would if Bangladesh says that if we'll give you $1 billion as an aid, they might even they will even apologize to Bangladesh. Uh, I think Pakistan should now we should now stop worrying about Pakistan in anymore as a any kind of a threat other than what small infiltrations he can do. The again a great moment, an IIT Kharagpur team has made a UAV assisted system for 5G that can serve as an airborne mobile tower communications during emergencies. This system basically involves an Android based application fitted to a fleet of drones that can create emergency communication network from the closest available mobile towers. So maybe an SMT point, see how it can help, or maybe your current affairs point where how you can, if such drone 5G network can you the same technology can help the armed forces. Last time we had seen that because the Turkey has bought the S-400 from USSR, it was blacklisted and sanctions were imposed on that. India has issued a veiled when the US ambassador had issued a veiled warning against India's procurement of S-400 air defense system from the Russia. The Minister of External Affairs spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said that India has always pursued an independent foreign policy, and this has also applies to our defense acquisitions, wherein we are not only dependent on one particular country for our defense acquisition in any field, let it be army, navy, or air force. We have a mix of everything. We have defense, we have Russian equipment, we have US equipment, we have US fighters, not the fighters, the helicopters, heavy lift Chinooks and Ka-35s. We have MiG-29s of Russia. We have the latest Rafale coming in from France. So we have been following independent foreign policy, and hence it should not be imposed on India. And he also brought out that we are maintaining ground level talks with China to avoid any further misjudgment. Now, China again can't be believed, trusted. It will do anything to divert the second wave of COVID, which is, I think, on run. The recent attack on US Parliament and the Trump supporters storming the Capitol Hill, the Donald Trump's Twitter account has been permanently suspended. Now, why I brought this point up to you is that please imagine a software company is has banned the world's most powerful man on this earth. Sorry, it's a world's most powerful man. His Twitter account has been banned by a software company which is very much there. So is it indicating a shift to a world wherein no political, geographical boundaries are anymore valid? Is the man with your data the most powerful man, irrespective of who the president of which country is? The same way WhatsApp's policy, the security policy, WhatsApp want trying to share your data. So is it changing, or is there a shift of the world's strategic thinking, or world's military might, or world's cyber might? You can just debate on this topic. In a TV interview, the Pakistan's diplomatic former Pakistani diplomat Mr. Hilali has admitted that when India struck Balakot terrorist camp, that almost 300 terrorists died. A fact which has been refused by Pakistan all along, and unfortunately by many of our own countries' leaders, that the so-called Saboot gang. I don't want to get political, but that is what it was. And finally, now it is coming out from Pakistan's diplomat's own mouth that around 300 terrorists died in that attack. So it's a kudos to the armed forces of India. The US has removed a self-imposed restrictions on contact with Taiwan. The Taiwanese and Mike Pompeo said that the US government has imposed these restrictions unilaterally to appease the communist regime in China decades ago, and that is why Taiwan was under restrictions. Now that has been officially taken. This is again the point may be added with the first point of China-Taiwan relationship. This fortnight has been, I must say, a boost for India's own Atmanirbhar, and a series of developments have taken place in this aspect. And the first one is the DRDO has developed a HIM Tapak. Basically, it is a space heating device. I was also, when initially I read this message, I couldn't grasp when he said space heating. It is just a kind of our soldiers who are there in Siachen and our high altitude areas. This was developed by the DRDO, and it will ensure that Jawans don't die because of the backblast and the carbon monoxide poisoning which happens with the present crude mechanism which is used by the armed forces. It is how does this is the photo which this is how it generally looks like. I couldn't gather as to looking at this photo if this solar panel, I think with solar panel you probably might charge a battery, but how is it going to fire it? Yes, I have my own guesses. I really don't know. Maybe you people can understand it better. But this is how the space heating device HIM Tapak has been created. And also in the same line, the DRDO has also developed a cream called as Alocal cream. This is basically to prevent the chilblains, frost bites happening to the soldiers deployed in the extremely cold areas of Siachen and the glacier region. And it's approximately 3 to 3.5 lakh jars of such creams are issued to the troops in the eastern Ladakh, Siachen and other sectors. And why is it important? I'll just come on to it. The SpaceX Starlink satellite broadband system gets an approval in UK. If you recollect, in our third update, which I had given in the month of September, we had spoken of the constellation of satellites which Musk is trying to put, of about 64 odd satellites, wherein he'll be providing the internet via the satellites broadband system. UK has given a go ahead for that. Surprisingly strange and laughable, but yet a point of concern. There has been a turmoil in Nepal. The Prachanda has taken over the Nepalese Communist Council. We all know that, and but Nepal has now vowed to get back its land, which was always ours, basically the land of Lipu Lake and Kalapani, and the Limpiadhura from India. He says he'll get this land back by talks. I think he can just keep dreaming. uh, of science and technology thing, and Saudi always comes up with something new. This time Saudi has launched a city which is, he calls it the eco city, with there will be no cars, no streets, and no carbon emission. This is basically 170 kilometers long, a city which is will be in a linear fashion, and this is called as a line, and it's a 500 billion dollar project called as NEOM. Now, how this 170 kilometers city is coming up is basically the entire communication network systems will be underground, and there will be transportation facilities underground, nothing on top. There will be no roads and other thing. You are basically living in your own place, and within every facility will be available within a radius of 5 to 10 minutes of walking time. And if you can maximum from one end to another of wherever you take, I think it will be 20 minutes of traveling time by this underground system. So it's basically an AI system which is coming into place, and it will be one of its kind in the world. Let's see how it makes up. uh, the chief of the army staff has said that he has issued instructions regarding the permanent, so not the commission, but the army women to be inducted as pilots in the army aviation wing. Till now it was only the male officers who were the pilots in army aviation, and now I think the ladies will also be given a chance to become the pilots in army aviation. Tesla has entered India, and it has registered as itself as a company in Bangalore. This is just to add with a dot of India becoming Atmanirbhar or Make in India project. A point can be added in this place. There are about 4 more vaccines that are under trials in India. That is the vaccine from Zydus is Cadlia 1, Sputnik 5, Biological E, and Genova. The trials have begun, and they are in our second and third phase trials as of now. The Cabinet Committee on Security, that CCS, chaired by PM, approved India's largest indigenous defense procurement deal worth about 48,000 crore rupees to strengthen the IAS fleet with the homegrown fighters of LCA Tejas. We are, I think, now procuring 83 such aircraft, which will become the backbone of Indian Air Force and replace the erstwhile MiG-21s. So it's a very big project, and if the procurement happens, the Indian Air Force would put MiG-21s to rest. uh, Lieutenant Colonel G.Y.K. Reddy has developed a microcopter which will be used by the army during the surveillance of a building, especially where the terrorists are hiding. This microcopter has been successfully carried out by Para SF forces in J&K. It was successfully tested and used also. This microcopter can fly for 2 hours at a maximum altitude of 4,500 meters. Building this is done by the Idea Forge company. And one more thing is again an Indian Army officer, along with the if I am not wrong, he was Lieutenant Colonel Pandey, along with the Defense Research and Development Organization, has developed the India's first indigenous machine pistol, ASMI. ASMI is the PAR, and as per DRDO, this weapon will be capable of firing at a distance of 100 meters and will replace the 9mm pistol used by the defense forces. The ASMI pistol was displayed at the Indian Army Innovation event, and this machine gun has an upper body of the rail and the lower of the carbon fiber. It has got a foldable butt, and it opens up for a QCB. Mumbai startup, basically Idea Forge, which I was talking of, has been given a contract of 145 crores to supply switch drones, and this is basically uh, how many we don't know, but the switch drones, unmanned aerial vehicles, will be delivered to the armed forces over a year. And this is it is said Idea Forge is claims to be the India's largest manufacturer of the drones for defense and homeland security. And one more twist in the tail to China: US has banned the Xinjiang province tomato cotton imports, wherein it now cites the forced labors being used to detain the Uyghur Muslims. Reacting to this, the China says that this is lie of the century and fabricated of thin air. But whatever it is now pinching China also. In addition, US has also blacklisted the Xiaomi company, the company which makes mobile phones and televisions and other products in China. And with this, the people in US will not be able to purchase any Xiaomi app equipment. With COVID-19 taking a second toll on UK, the initially the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson was supposed to be the chief guest of the Indian Republic Day parade, which was supposed to happen on 26. But now, since he has dropped out, there was more speculations as to who will be the foreign dignitary who will be the chief guest. But ultimately, it has been decided that no foreign leader will be the chief guest for the Republic Day. So this is happening for the first time uh, in 55 years. Now, Google completes a 2.1 billion acquisition of Fitbit. Fitbit, as you all know, healthy equipment, a watch which can track your number of steps, how many calories you burn, how much on. Now, with Google acquiring this Fitbit company, you can now understand that your personal data is no more your personal data. It is Google will have everything: where you were, how many steps you walk, what is your average age, your what is health, average health, and he can push in a lot of personalized things to you. So this is what I was talking of. Are we now slowly shifting from a power which is no more with a president or a prime minister of a country, but with a person who has your data? A point to think about. A point could be in a SMT point. Recently, the Air Force chief was asked if the Pakistan China's jointly produced JF-17s are better, to which the Air Force chief has categorically said that the Tejas, that is light combat aircraft of India, is far better than the advanced version, far better and advanced than that of the Pakistan Chinese developed JF-17 in terms of strike capabilities, and because it has got weapons which can fire from much standoff distances, even beyond the capabilities of that which were used in Balakot. So you mean to say that even what he was hinting is that you fire a weapon almost 200 kilometers away from the targets. So that's it, friend. I try to be a little fast, but I think this much of updates are essential. This week, this fortnight has been a busy fortnight with things to look out now. Is the impeachment of Donald Trump happening, the COVID vaccine success, and the defense procurements happening, and uh, also the Western Arab world as to what will be the latest position in the Arab world. And that's it. Thank you so much for staying with me. I do understand it gets a lot long for you to stay glued to the updates for so long, but if you are listening to, or if you have even listened to my all the videos which I've started from the July onwards to now, I am assuring you that you will not miss any point and you will be able to write something in your examination. Wishing you all the best, and take care. I hope this year brings you lots of happiness. Thank you so much.